Hello again, dudes and dudettes. Welcome back to I'm the Dude Games. My name's I'm the Dude 5. We're back inside LEGO Marvel Superheroes 2 with another 100% walkthrough of Kree-search and development. This is story mission number 12. And it follows a pattern of some of these later levels where they have to do with a certain group of characters like the Kree and the Inhumans and all that stuff. However, I don't believe the Inhumans are Kree. They're their own separate entity. Have not obtained any of the collectibles in this level, so we're starting fairly fresh. By the way, guys, today is July 4th, 2019, so I want to wish a happy 4th of July to everyone. My fiance and I are planning on seeing Spider-Man Far From Home today. And afterwards, later on in the day, I do plan on streaming a spoiler-free review / rant on Spider-Man Far From Home, as well as other issues surrounding recent events that I feel like I need to rant about, and I need to express my opinion. So stay tuned for that later on today. So we come up here to this opening archway where we come in. There is 1 out of 5 little Kree spheres that we need to manipulate in order to obtain a mini kit throughout the level. In order to obtain the mini kit in this room, we are actually going to need to use this Kree crane. Everything's Kree. Need to put these power crystals in their appropriate slots. So once we put all the power crystals in the appropriate slots, it'll deactivate the shield doors, revealing these Kree sentry robots. And that'll raise up the doorway to the rest of the level, but before we move on, we actually need to deactivate one of the shields in front of one of the Kree sentry robots, so that way we can fly up and obtain the mini kit that's in that first room. We'll do that here in just a second. So as you can see, there's something pointing us to that Kree sentry bot. So as you can see, there is a shrinking control pad here. We need to transform into Miss Marvel.
I can't wait. Let's go.
So once we destroy that, it'll explode that sentry bot's head and deactivate the force field in front of it, and then we can just go and collect that mini kit there. And now we can move on to the rest of the level. Up here, there's going to be another one of those Kree spheres. So that's going to be number 2 out of 5. You actually get a decent amount of blue studs when you explode those things. So if you're still trying to get your True Believer rank without the stud modifiers, that's definitely a good thing to do right there. Right here, there's a couple of different gold Lego objects that need to get melted. There's one on the ceiling above this this gravitational conveyor belt. And then there's one that ends up moving past on the Sentry Bot assembly line. Both of them can get melted with Iron Man's lasers. We're gonna melt that one up top and we'll get that mini kit, and then we need to melt this other gold Lego object that moves past on the conveyor belt in order to obtain another mini kit as well. I can't begin to express enough how much 100% Lego videos like these have helped me in the past with other Lego games and 100%ing them and getting all the trophies. I do enjoy the Lego games. I have ever since like the first Lego Star Wars games. I've always played them. I've even played some of the other Lego games like Lego Indiana Jones. A little bit of Lego Harry Potter as well. I don't really like the DC Lego games that much, mainly just because I'm not that big a fan of DC. But these the 100% walkthrough videos of Lego games, if you don't want to do a series on the game but you are looking to try to, if you're a completionist like me, then these videos really do help people. And I know this game is 2 years old and it's already been covered by God knows however many people, but there's different kinds of games out there and for different kinds of audiences, and so the whole point behind walkthroughs is for people who maybe want to get into the game and they want to see how it's played, or they want to know how to do a certain thing a certain way, and so that's what these kinds of videos are for. And then there's Let's Plays where it's like you play the game fresh, you do a fresh take on it, and you kind of do and say whatever, for more comic relief. No pun intended. We're gonna put out those fires surrounding Stan Lee there, so that way we can free him from this empty Sentry Bot shell. That'll rescue Stan there. And then we'll need to build this gravity mine pad. Real quick, we're gonna, after you activate that gravity mine to suck out the door there, if you just fly up in that archway, there's a mini kit just sitting there. We come in here, we actually need Miss Marvel to squeeze herself through that vent. To get to the other side here. And then before we activate this lever, we actually need a character like Doctor Strange or Black Bolt. He can actually manipulate these as well. So we're gonna blow up another one of those Kree spheres. Should be 3 out of 5, yep. Transform back into Miss Marvel. Now, in the normal level, once you pull that lever, it'll send that flying forward, and we'll use rocket to fix it because it'll block the heat beams from the sentry bots in order for you to cross. That's what you would normally do in this level. However, if you're in free play, like we are now, you can use 2 flying characters to fly up above those 2 sentries. First, we're gonna blow up this other Kree sphere that's up here. So that'll be number 4. If you're in free play, you can use 2 flying characters to come up here and activate these pressure pads. I don't know what it is with me, but I don't like having 2 of the same character on screen, so I end up transforming into Iron Man for the second character instead of like Black Bolt. So standing on those 2 pressure pads will deactivate those force fields, and then you can blow up the energy sources for these Kree sentries, and that'll deactivate their heat beams. So that way you actually don't need that heat beam blocker. So after that, you can just kind of cross freely. There's that last Kree sphere there, so that'll get us mini kit number 5, I believe. No, mini kit number 6. Okay. So the last thing we need to do in this portion is we need to electrify this conduit here in order to be able to... Well, technically we could just fly across, but I'm going to make it easier for the rest of the characters too. Could electrify this pad here so that way we can cross. And there's one more mini kit in this portion before we enter the boss fight. So we fly over here with Black Bolt. We're gonna use his sonic power to destroy that glass there, and then we can build a Captain America pad. And then we'll use Cap to throw his shield to activate that switch up top. The mini kits do tend to have their own little sound effect whenever you're near one. Sometimes it can be hard to hear if you're not like actively listening for it, but they do emit a little bit of a sound like wow, almost like a pulsating sound. Same as Stan Lee calls for help whenever he is nearby. The last portion of this level is the boss fight against Ronan and his dogs, so there is actually a fair amount of activity going on in here. First we're going to use rockets to destroy that silver Lego house, and then we need Rocket Raccoon in order to dig up this pile of dirt for another mini kit. So that's mini kit number 8. Next, I find it's easier to actually use Claw to shoot sonic blasts at these Ronin statues because his hammers are made of sonic glass. So we'll actually use Claw to destroy all 5 of those statues. I will say, it is a bit of a challenge to get all these collectibles in the middle of boss fights because there's enemies that are actively trying to attack you and kill you while you're trying to do this. So trying to obtain all these collectibles in the middle of boss fights is actually a little bit more of a challenge. That is one thing I will say about some of these LEGO games, that they've actually done a good job of developing over the years. So destroying all 5 of those Ronin statues with Claw, we'll get mini kit number 9. There is the character token and one more mini kit that we still have to get. So right here, before we get the final mini kit, we're actually going to obtain the hidden character token. We'll use Black Bolt to manipulate that switch there. And then since Black Bolt is super strong, we can actually use him to pull off that Lego panel. And that will obtain the hidden character token. And last but not least, we need to kill Ronin's dogs. No animal cruelty intended. In order to get him to come off his throne and face us himself. Once you get Ronin off his throne, I think it's actually probably easier and a good safe bet to use a shrinking character like Miss Marvel to shrink down and walk underneath the edges of his throne there. And there's a mini kit just sitting back there, and that is going to be the last mini kit. So last but not least is just defeat Ronin and complete the level. And that is mission number 12, Kree-search and development. We unlocked a comic with Rocket and Cosmo the Space Dog there for Guardians of the Galaxy. And we unlocked Hobgoblin. I do believe Hobgoblin is a Spider-Man villain. It's not Green Goblin, but he's a different character that ends up taking on kind of the Goblin enemy role. So, that is another 100% down and dusted. So, again, happy 4th of July to everyone. And I will be doing a spoiler-free review of Spider-Man Far From Home later on in the day here. So stay tuned for that. Thanks so much for watching, guys. My name's I'm the Dude 5. This is I'm the Dude Games. Please subscribe to my channel. Click the bell icon for notifications. Like this video, as well as any others of mine that you may enjoy, including the one I provide on screen. Also follow me on Twitter. I'll provide a link in the description below. Thanks so much for watching, guys. As always, stay classy. I will see you all out there in the Marvel Universe.